Hi guys! In this part 2 video, we are going to learn about the post-Gupta period. After the end of Gupta, many kingdoms became powerful in both the north and the south. The kingdom of Harsha was dominant in the north. The Chalukyas ruled in the Deccan and the Pallavas were powerful in the south. Now let's learn about the Harshvardhana, who was the most powerful ruler of the Vardhana dynasty. He ruled from 606 CE to 647 CE. The breakup of the Gupta Empire was followed by a period of disorder. Small kingdoms fought against one another. Finally, Harshvardhana conquered these kingdoms and established a powerful empire. Now let's learn the sources of the Vardhana dynasty. We learn about Harsha and developments during his reign from two main sources. One is Harsha Charitra, the biography of the king written in Sanskrit by his court poet Banabhatta. The book lists the military and cultural achievements of Harsha. The other is the account of Hian Sang, who visited India during Harsha's reign. He spent 8 years in the court of Harsha. He has written in detail about the developments during these years. Besides these sources, inscriptions and coins of this period also tell us about the Harsha. Now let's learn about the military campaigns. The capital of Harsha's empire was the Kanauj. Harsha conquered Punjab, eastern Rajasthan and the whole of the Ganga valley up to Assam. He attacked the Chalukyan king Pulakesin II but was defeated. Harsha did not annex all the territories that he conquered. He allowed some kings whom he defeated to continue ruling. They accepted Harsha as their overlord and paid him an annual tribute. They also gave him money and soldiers whenever he needed them. Harsha also loves art. He was a patron of arts and learning. He was a good writer himself. He wrote 3 plays in Sanskrit Ratnavali, Priyadarshika and Nagananda. Scholars such as Banabhati, Subandhu and Bandin lived in his court. In his early years, Harsha was a worshipper of Shiva, but later he became a Buddhist. He was tolerant of other religions. He organized a grand assembly at Kanauj in 641 CE. He also gave money to the University of Nalanda. This university proposed and became a famous center of learning. Hian Tangs spent many years studying Buddhist texts at the Nalanda University. Now let's learn about the Hian Sang's account. Hian Sang informs us that agriculture was the main occupation of the people in villages. Traders and craftsmen lived in the towns. People were simple, honest and very hospitable. They lived together peacefully. Most people were vegetarians and avoided even onions and garlic. After the decline of the Satavahanas, many small kingdoms arose in the Deccan. The Vatakas were the most powerful of these. They, however, ruled for a brief period. They were succeeded by the Chalukyas. Their capital was Vatapi. It is also called as Badami. Before going to the Chalukyan dynasty, let's learn the kings of the Chalukyan dynasty. The first king is the Pulakesin I. He ruled from 545 CE to 565 CE. Next is the Kiritivarman I. He ruled from 566 CE to 597 CE. Next is the Mangalisa. He ruled from 597 CE to 608. Next is the Pulakesin II. He ruled from 608 to 642 CE. Pulakesin II is the famous ruler of the Chalukyan dynasty. The last ruler of the Chalukyan dynasty was the Kiritivarman II. In this all the kings, the Pulakesin II was so famous. So, we will learn about him. Pulakesin II, he ruled from 608 CE to 642 CE. He is the most famous Chalukyan ruler. Before learning more about the Chalukyan ruler, Pulakesin II, we will learn about the Pallava Dynasty kings. Kings of Pallava Dynasty. The first is the Simha Vishnu. He ruled from 575 CE to 650 CE. Mahendra Varman I. He ruled from 600 to 630 CE. Next is the Narsimha Varman I. He ruled from 630 CE to 668 CE. Now let's learn about the Pulakesan II. We get information about Pulakesan Turian from the Prashasti of his court poet Ravi Kirti. He informs us the king defeated Harsha and checked his advance into the Deccan. Pulakesan II also raided the territories of Pallavas. He defeated the Pallava king Mahendra Varman I. Pulakesan II sent an embassy to the court of Khusrao II, the king of Persia. Embassy means group of people sent to another country for an important purpose. This strengthened the ties of friendship between the two kingdoms. Hian Sang, during the stay in India, visited the court of Pulakesan II. He also toured the countryside and was impressed with the administration. The Chalukyans became weak after the death of Pulakesan II. The Rashtrakutas replaced them. The Pallavas. The Pallavas ruled from Kanchipuram or Kanchi near Chennai. Mahendravarman I and Narsimhavarman I were the powerful rulers of the dynasty. Narsimhavarman I defeated Pulakesan II and captured Vatapi. After this victory, he took the title of Vatapi Konda or the conqueror of Vatapi. He also led successful expeditions to Sri Lanka. Continuous military conflicts weakened the Pallavas. Their rule was ended by the Cholas in the 9th century. Administration. We get to know about the administrative system of the period from the accounts of Fahian and Hian Sang. The king was head of administration. A council of ministers assisted him. The empire was divided into provinces or buktis. Princes were often appointed as governors of provinces. They were assisted by many officers. The provinces were further divided into districts or vishayas. The ayuktas administrated the districts. There was also a district council in each district which helped in administering the district. The village was the lowest administrative unit. It was looked after by the elders of the village. Revenue. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people. Much of the revenue came from the land. There were numerous revenue officers to collect the revenue. Merchants and craftsmen also paid taxes. The money so collected was used to ensure good administration, give grants and donations, and maintain the army. To maintain an army consisting of horses, elephants, chariots, and foot soldiers required a lot of money. Please give this video a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel known for knowledge.